I can't imagine what is wrong with your soul where you will type 900 characters and oh, he said this.
Welcome to this edition of Road Trippin. Richard Jefferson, Channing Frye, Kendrick Perkins, I'm Allie Clifton. Little housekeeping duties to take care of before we dive into today's edition of Road Trippin. Obviously, we need you to hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 100,000. We have told you this all finals long. Before the end of the finals, which could potentially happen tonight, and we are so close.
Please, God.
I don't know what the line is that you need to put in, but we're at 99,000 subscribers. We need to get to 100K. So obviously join us tonight. We're going to go live post-game, not during the game. We're going live post-game following game 6. Maybe we have a winner. Maybe we don't. We shall see.
But Allie, we have a winner.
Okay. Well, if you don't like us, if you don't like to look at us, like Rich thinks we're all beautiful human beings, but if you don't like to look at us and you want us deep in your ear whispering all the fun basketball things that you need to hear, remember to follow us on, what do we got? Apple, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. That's it. Okay, thanks. We love you all. We're going to dive right into it.
Let's go.
Before we get into game 6, today is the anniversary, 9-year anniversary of the Cavs championship. Do you guys remember this? 9 years ago today, Richard, you won your first NBA championship?
Yeah, somebody else. Only, first and only. Yes, I do remember. I do remember us not believing that it was really gonna. I do remember us not even thinking that there was I won't say not thinking there was a chance, but like we couldn't even believe it happened. We were like, did that just really happen? Did we just do something that no one's ever done against that team? So that's still what I live on. It still feels like a bit of a dream.
We look at this video because it was Father's Day. So Shump came into at the time, he got this from his wife. Oh, come on.
Yeah, it was all of the Father's Day stuff, like a Father's Day fit.
That's how he came downstairs to the meeting. We were cracking. We're like, all right, something good. If we're chilling.
The day of game 7, he came to the meeting.
The day
just like
of
that?
game 7.
Yeah, it was kind of like,
you
know, all the like corny Father's Day gifts that dads get, fanny packs and like cargo shorts and Tivas. No disrespect to anybody that likes to rock that stuff, but yeah, it was it's some New Balance, some very fathery stuff that he got. He rocked it all.
Oh man.
How much are you guys, obviously if you're on the YouTube side right now, Channing is going through his videos from that time. How much are you guys like diving back in? Do you take a look at it? No,
I've
not
seen
at
it
all.
twice ever.
What? The game?
The whole series.
To the memories and the photos.
Oh,
and the
no,
video.
I promise you, I'm so locked in on my job right now, and that's not even like I wish I could be like sitting here like I just went through an hour production meeting, the second production meeting of this morning. I'm like over here trying to figure out what I'm going to say in the open. You know, there like I promise you I haven't. I think when this is all over, right, on this side, I think it'll be a little bit easier to kind of like look and be like, man, that was crazy, whether it's to call it or, man, it's been 9 years and next year is the 10-year anniversary. I think that's probably what I've thought about more, is that next year will be the 10-year anniversary, and that's fucking crazy.
Oh, it feels
do
crazy.
You remember,
do
you remember your championship celebration in 2008?
No, it's almost a 20-year anniversary for Perk.
It's 17 years. 17 years was the other day. I posted it was 17 years. Do I remember? No sleep for 2 days, right? Led up to the parade, a lot of loud smoking, right? Big packs at KG House. Talking about big packs. Me and Rondo went bought Bentleys, the Flying Spur. We pulled up to KG House. I fucking passed out, eating all this spaghetti. The night after the championship, yeah, I ate everything in the house, and I just wake up. He's standing over me like, "Wake up, motherfucker! Sleep when you're dead. Sleep when you're dead, motherfucker. Wake up!" I was the only person to sleep. They went in my pockets. They took my money. Hey, you know, like, you know, those were the nights I didn't remember nights, man. You know what I'm saying? When you win a championship, you get to do whatever the fuck you want to do for the next, like, the rest of the offseason.
So we all remember our championship moments. I was even a part of it. So obviously we have to talk about the Cavs and the 9-year anniversary happening today. Moving on, with that said, it's championship season. Channing seems to think that the series is over. The Thunder up.
No. Hope. I hope, because I don't want to get on a plane. I don't want to get on a plane.
Does OKC close it out tonight?
Perk?
Yeah, Perk, you go first.
No, when he was shaking his head, I didn't know if he had.
No, I was shaking my head at Shannon talking about he didn't want to fucking get on the plane. Like, what? Motherfucker, I probably have been on 40 planes in the last, like, 3 weeks.
Totally.
Look,
I'm with you.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's over. It's over. Anybody watching this game with any type of basketball sense sees and understands that the Oklahoma City Thunder have figured out the Indiana Pacers.
What did they figure out,
I've been
Perk? Tell
saying this. Well, so one, this is a team, and I'm talking about OKC. They're getting better as the series go on, right? Like, they're a team that's a film. Like a young team, they study film, they go through it, and then they process and they go out and apply it on the floor. So what they have figured out is, one, they have no one to guard Doug. Like, the baskets that he's getting are so fucking easy. It started off in game 4 with the scoop lays and finishing in traffic. Then all of a sudden, that became dunks in game 5, right? Like, his confidence level, and he's figured it out. Like, no one on this floor, no disrespect to Aaron Nesmith, but you're too small. I got you. I'm 6'7", wide shoulders. I'm going to put this shoulder into you. I got it. He's playing with confidence now. They figured out also their lineups, right? Rotations. We could go double big, and when we go double big, we know what's happening. We know who's guarding who. Isaiah Hartenstein is on Pascal Siakam. And Chet Holmgren has been the unsung hero thus far in these last 2 games. I know because you got SGA and Chet, they sitting at different tables, and because of, you know, they getting into the history books because of the numbers that they're putting up. But over the last 2 games, Chet Holmgren, when he's the primary defender, he's holding his opponents to 20% shooting. If you watch him and watch the game, when he's engaged, he stops he covers so much ground and stops so much in transition. The way he's able to get back, like, that dude is something special to watch when he's locked in defensively. And now he's accepted his role. He's like, you know what? Fuck this scoring. I'm about to go out here and I'm about to get double-figure rebounds. I'm gonna get you 3 or 4 blocks, and I'm gonna anchor this defense. And when guards try to, like, get the switch on me, like guards try to put me on the island, I'm gonna sit my long ass down, and I'm gonna slide the fuck out of these puppies. That's what they figured them out.
You need a shirt that says "Slide the puppies."
Yeah, it's not. I mean, seriously, I'm watching in Indiana, outside of Pascal Siakam, Oklahoma City Thunder saying, we don't believe nobody else could get a bucket in the half-court set.
Let me ask you this, though.
fucking-
J-Dub even said it the other night, though. This is an opportunity, and all of you have been a part of it. All of you know. There is no harder game than a closeout game. And you're on the road. Obviously, the one narrative that has followed OKC has been how young they are. Is there something, though, having said all of that, Perk, with the circumstances, that young teams oftentimes mess up in moments like this?
Not this team. They young, but they got old souls, Alec. This team fucking grown. Like, they may be young in age, but they souls are old as hell. Like, they ain't coming to fuck around. You see, I'm sitting up here watching this day, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say. I'm watching him, and not just his play on the floor, his post-game interview. And watching his post-game interview, he fucking gives me confidence. He give me confidence. Just the way that he's up there speaking, like he's like I'm sitting there like as if I'm watching Cole. Hand on the chin, like it ain't over, unbothered. Like you see the fashion and the jewelry. That motherfucker is a killer.
Perk.
He is a killer.
Yeah, no, I look. I think Indiana. It's going to be hard. Indiana is a better team at home. They're going to play with. They're going to play with more energy. Like they had a terrible first quarter in Game 6, but I don't know. I would say, because of Tyrese Haliburton, I would lean, but not like percentage wise. I'm leaning 51 to 49% OKC. Like
What
that's
you
what I'm
mean,
saying.
though, RJ?
But I mean
About
that
what you
like
mean by
what I'm saying is that like when you watch these games, you put yourself in a space where you would say, I believe that Indiana, I believe that if before Tyrese Haliburton had hit his thing, I believe that Indiana was going to win this Game 6, and then we were going to go a Game 7. That's what I felt, because I felt like they were going to win. They were a few points better at home. Obviously, Tyrese Haliburton has questioned it, but I still think Indiana is the way they play in waves. They got Nembhard, and Tyrese Haliburton is going to go. So if he does give you anything, the energy, the boost, the way these guys have played at home, I'm not saying that the series is over. I'm saying is that I'm shading a little bit more towards OKC should win, but understanding that Indiana, it was a 2-point game. It was a 2-point game with what, 8 minutes to go? So now we just gonna be like, oh, they're now at home, and that 2-point game would be for them at home would mean that they would be up 6 with 8 to go. If we just flip home and away.
They weren't losing that game, though, RJ.
I didn't say
they got
were.
it down
I didn't
to
say. I'm just talking about they're at home. Indiana's at home, and they're going to be playing a lot better, more confident. The crowd's going to be juicing them up. There is just an energy there. There's just an energy there that we got to account for. That's what I would be very, very, very impressed if OKC were to close this out. And I that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it.
Here's what I'll say. Indiana's greatest gift is that they are like a pack of zebras or a school of fish. But with Tyrese Haliburton out, that school got like 300. Somebody's coming through the dark gate. Okay, pause. Like,
hello.
You
lost me. Can you break down that analogy? They like
so with Tyrese. So when you have a school of fish, right? The school of fish stays in a tight ball, and they move as one. And even if a bigger fish comes, they can take that fish on because there's so many of them, right? What's happened with OKC and with Tyrese Haliburton hurt, Rick Carlisle said it. He said, TJ McConnell, I couldn't play him at the end of the game because of how tired he was. So who else, if Tyrese Haliburton isn't 50%, who plays those extra minutes when you're already asking everyone to already play at the best of their best? They need Tyrese at 80, 90, 100% because of how good OKC is. Also, Nembhard and Nesmith are exhausted. If you watch the last fourth quarter, Nembhard, I think, had two or three bad shots and 2 or 3 turnovers. Like he wasn't even all that pop. There was no pop. Hey, you know how you have shoes with an air bubble? Them things was worn down to the bone. To me, and obviously, yes, you're at home. Obviously, you get these days off. But now that J-Dub has gotten better every single game, his confidence of looking at Nesmith and Nembhard ain't the same. Miles Turner, he turned down. I was watching this. Obviously, I was there. He turned down six shots. The first shot of the game, pick pop, had it, looked, didn't even take it, looked past it. If he's not his best version of himself, they don't have a chance. If Benedict Mathurin doesn't come in and give you 25 plus, you don't have a chance.
But wait. I'm agreeing with you. I'm just asking you. I'm asking. I agree with you on those. but they do have 2 wins in this series.
Totally.
They do have 2 wins in the series where, again, someone steps up, and it's like the role players that you're saying, Benedict Mather and Obi Toppin. Aren't we expecting one of them to step up at home, given that it's happened 2 out of the 3?
Tyrese was. I'm telling you, Tyrese does this. Why do you think they have so many turnovers? When he's not playing, OKC's defense is now getting harder and harder to make. They're getting turnovers because they're driving. OKC sitting down. They're not going at Chet like they used to. Pascal Siakam, I think, only has, 7 or 10 points in the fourth quarter. So you're saying I can live with you scoring in the first half. We're going to shut that shit off in the second half. So for me, all the things have been exhausted. And each series, Benedict Mathurin had 1 great game. He had 27. And other than that, he's been okay, hit or miss. I'll say hit or miss. Great energy, but hit or miss. TJ McConnell, that was his game last game. But he can't sustain that for 35-something minutes. Then you look at Nembhard and Nesmith. Are they going to win that matchup versus SGA, Lou Dort, or J-Dub? I don't think so. Is Siakam going to win his matchup versus Chet? I can't see that. I just can't see. They just exhausted it. This would be that Tyrese Haliburton game. If he was healthy, this would be that game.
Let me ask you guys.
So 2 things.
Oh, yep, you got it, Perk. You got it.
Oh, 2 things. So let me say this. We're getting to the point, right, where it's like X's and O's don't matter. Like Indiana, they know everything that the Thunder are going to do. The Thunder know everything that Indiana is going to run, right? So we're to that point. Now it's to the point of who wants it the most, and it comes down to, can your superstars take you home with shot making? Like, and when I say shot making, it's tough contested 2s, tough contested 3s. Like the transition buckets for the Pacers, that's not going to be there. Right, so to Shannon's point, it's like Miles Turner. What you go do, bro? Like you can't be afraid of the moment. You can't have a mismatch on a low block. They try to feed you on the low block. You can't hold off and seal the post up on the little guy. The guy gets around you. SGA, I believe it was, gets the steal. They going out there.
Man, these are the post entry. When did post entry become so hard?
People don't practice
position
because they don't
practice that
hard, Jimmy. They don't work on
like, what are you talking about? I remember it used to be drop 3, drop 4. That meant if you were the 3, if you were the 4, walk your ass to that block. Everybody knew it's gonna be drop 3, drop 4. So I would get to my position, put my big ass hand up, catch it, turn and face, and go.
You know what the worst thing was?
Now
Ice
it's
4, Ice 24. Right, with the 2 sets of screen on the 4. What? Oh,
yeah, dare them to switch. Dare you to switch. You can chuck me. I'll run through it, but dare you to switch. If you try,
but they don't work on that shit. Y'all remember we used to work on it at practice? Like you used to work on like seal, how to post entry pass, how to hold off. Like you used to actually, those little details were like worked on.
That's the part for Karl Anthony Towns. I see him post up. He gets pushed out to the 3-point line and is posting up in the corner from the corner 3. I'm like, bro, dude, like just strategically, whether it makes you more comfortable, whether you like it or strategically, every inch you get further away, it becomes harder. I don't understand. I don't get it.
Let me ask you guys. If
Alan,
OKC
last thing I would pick I would pick on Tyrese Haliburton every single play.
Okay, actually, let me ask you guys. You guys always say this, but it never happens anymore because it's such an old school way of thinking and culture. Like, it never happens. I hear Big Game and Rob and Fish talk about it all the time, too, on our Laker network. Like, it happens. If someone's injured, go at their injury. Go at, like, take
every
them
time.
out. That's just not – does that really not get taught anymore?
It's going to happen tonight.
Well, they just go after the weaker defender. They go after the weaker defender. They don't go after players in foul trouble. So do you remember drop 3, drop 4, like the plays we were just calling? If, let's say, Pascal Siakam's guarding me then we're going to go drop 3. So now Pascal Siakam has 2 fouls. I'm trying to catch it on the block, and I'm going to go. Either you're going to have to try and really play defense, and then that will be your 3rd foul, or you're going to let me kind of get there because you're going to play a little bit less defense because you want to stay in the game. When we say that that's what we used to do, that's what we used to do. If you're going to play defense, fine. But if they call that foul, that's 3 and you out of here.
I know that that's what you guys used to do, clearly, but I just don't see the translation happening in today's game of like that.
That's the tracking threes. That's the tracking of threes. And it's just like their strategy is that versus like attacking certain people, but they do attack lesser defenders. That's one thing that they do and try and get them in pick and roll.
Allie, they put the worst defender as the bottom weak side guy. So they're like, when J-Dub, when he was driving, look who was trying to contest. It was Tyrese or it was Nesmith. They put the smaller or weakest defender. So instead of just going at them where somebody's going to double team and they swing, they put them in a situation where they have to either jump and like contest the ball going to the rack, or they have to be on a closeout. And him and Nesmith weren't doing either one. And I think that they like keeping Miles Turner away from the hoop. And if Chet would make 1-3, but we talked about this on NBA TV. He got to get back to the lab. There's too many hinges he brings it down to his knees, then his hip, and then he shoots like this. And it's, as a shooter, a tall guy shooter, Chet, we'll fix you up, big dog. We had that shit cooking.
So it's okay. It's okay for right now, Shannon, because that's his role right now. His role right now is to dominate the interior.
For sure.
Block shots and rebounds, big fella. We'll work on everything else and polish up your game.
Totally, yeah. But dude, and now Tyrese can't probe. If you notice, when he starts doing the hops, he can't turn that corner. He can't turn the corner.
Why?
You know how he does that hop thing?
Why can't he turn the corner?
Because his calf. Remember, if you're calf, you got to push, right?
No. Okay, but why couldn't he? I agreed. I saw he couldn't go left. What I'm saying is, are you talking about from
he ain't been able to go left all series?
That's what I'm trying to say. So like, I don't think was it bothering him all series, or was it just off?
I think it's a combination of both, and I think it's Siakam loves that side of the court, so he just hangs out on the other side. Siakam is and Miles Turner, big right, left block guy.
You know what never got talked about?
Go left. Oh.
Didn't get talked about, but I want to talk about it as we transition into our next topic, just because we have to keep this podcast rolling. I wonder if the Indy fans are going to turn a corner. Perk, how did you feel about Dumb and Dumber sitting courtside with your face and Stephen A's face around their neck?
You know what's crazy is that like I saw those fucking clowns when I was walking through the tunnel. So as I was coming down to go on the court to do a Sports Center hit, they were walking out the tunnel, and it was like they saw a fucking ghost. Like they was like, oh shit.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh, what's up? Yeah, like it was like, yeah, motherfucker, like y'all just think this shit's so cool. Fucking clowns. Like it was like, nah, Perk, we would. And I was like, nah, you good. I wasn't in my feelings, but I was like, Dumb and Dumber, because I picked OKC to win the series. Like that makes me part of the Dumb and Dumber crew. You know what I'm saying? I've been really ready to go off on like fans and social media people.
It ain't worth it, bro. It ain't worth it. You know what
tweets
that sounds like Pastor Perk on Sunday all over it.
Do you have any texts? Do you have any tweets, Perk, that I've written and deleted, and I was just like, no.
Man,
it's not worth it. Not worth it.
You know what? It's like, It's like people are never fucking satisfied, right?
Never.
Think about this. Okay, you think about this, right? We all played at a high level, right? We all played. Allie, you too. We can sit up here and tell y'all fuckers life experiences, things that we went through, what it takes to fucking win at a high level. And you say, oh, this motherfucker don't know basketball. No, motherfucker, you don't know basketball, right? It's like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It's like, oh, Richard said this. Richard said this on the cat. Well, Richard was fucking right.
People are bitches, right? Like, that's all it is. They are. They are. It's like, what about you as a grown man or an individual gets on there and wants to argue in the air and put it out into the universe? Like, what about is like, oh, you guys are always talking about SGA. It's like your team led for 2 minutes in a 4-game span. I mean, excuse me, in a 2-game span, your team led for 2 minutes. Our job is to narrate what's happening, right? You don't get mad at Morgan Freeman when you watch Shawshank Redemption, right? It's like his job is just to narrate. That's what his job is, right? So yes, we're giving our opinion and it's this, but it's just kind of like, I can't imagine what is wrong with your soul where you will type 900 characters and oh, you said this and you don't even know. And you're like, wow. Get a life, and they're fans, so we don't want to like shit on them, but like we can also just say it's the sadness that must come from your fingers. It is
Whoa.
the sadness. It is amazing. It is amazing, and I love the emotional connection. But man,
were you in your feels when your beautiful wife Perk waved at Rich the other day on set?
No, that was Allie. That was fucking actually light. You know what I'm saying? Like from what he does behind the scenes. Like this motherfucker would be on the phone. This motherfucker would be on the phone with me, and he'll be like, "Tell Van I said hi." And I'll be like, "Richard said what's up," and he'll be like, "Oh, she's there." She'll be like, he'll be like, "Oh, and tell her I miss her." Like he's a fucking asshole. He's a fucking asshole.
Richard, you might have the all-time comeback.
Yo, that's my sister. You my brother. That's my
I was gonna say,
sister.
shout out to Van.
Yeah, you got the all-time comeback where somewhere's like Richard something, and then you were like, no, that's all right. I'll text her.
Yeah, leave me alone. That's why I said I've like written out some tweets and then I was like, let's just delete this. Let's delete this because I would love to fire back. That's one of my favorite things, but that's just not the position in which I reside in currently.
You know who also is in a position
to get into it too.
You what?
I wanted to get into a whole lot of shit. Like I wanted to jump into a whole lot of shit that was going on social media, but I was like, you know what? Let me just get off of X. Like the whole Ja Morant Memphis stuff. It was like,
let's go.
Bruh,
transitioning there right now. Obviously, I brought in Stephen A. and yourself and with the fans in Indy. That's kind of the transition I wanted to make. Perk, you actually have been on this podcast and talked about what you had been told in the past about maybe players feeling unsafe in Memphis. And Stephen A. was just on First Take talking about it pretty much in the same realm as what you had said. Why are you guys both laughing? Why are you cringing?
Because I've heard the complete opposite.
Well, Marcus Morris went the same way as you as well.
Yeah, but
So
I know, but Marcus Morris is like from Philly, so people would just assume, oh, you're black, you feel good there. But like, these are my white guy friends that coached there for years. I'm like, dude, we love Memphis. My buddy who moved there lived there for 8 years. He was like, dude, obviously every city has bad places, right? But like, I wouldn't mind playing in Memphis. Like, if the organization is good, it's good. I just think sometimes I think that gets overblown. Sometimes that's just my opinion.
This is the one opinion I would say. One opinion I would say. In every city, there's areas. Now, there are certain individuals, there are certain players that like to frequent places that are more culturally similar to how they grew up, right? People that like to do, Steven Jackson being one of them. That's my bro, Captain Jack. He likes to hang out with certain people. He's talked about checking in. That's his thing. Me, I want to live a mile away from a Whole Foods and a Lululemon. That is me, right? And that is what I tell everybody. I tell the real estate person when I'm showing up in Denver Where's the Whole Foods? Where's the Lululemon? That's safe. I'm cool. I'm chill. That I mind my business. Other people like to hang out in certain areas with certain groups of people, and not there's no judgment on that. I understand. There's a culture shock if you grew up around, predominantly Black people, and then you're just living in a white, fucking smoothie yogurt land area, right? That's just a very different. So you want to. But if you are in those areas, there are certain cities where those areas can be, let's say, a little bit more dangerous. Memphis is one of those areas that if you're hanging out at certain spots, certain clubs, certain bars, there's a little different energy there, right? There's a little different energy there than if you're hanging out, in certain areas. So is Memphis, in my opinion, safe and nice? 100% Memphis is. But if you venture into certain areas, just like if you in certain areas of New York City, if you're in certain areas of Chicago,
Miami, LA,
if you're in certain areas of LA, if you in certain areas of Chicago, if you in certain areas of Miami, you cannot tell me that there are blocks in Memphis that are more dangerous than blocks in Chicago or blocks in Miami or blocks in LA. So it's really about where you choose to spend your energy, right? If you like to go to the barber shop on that side of town, there's a different energy. There's different energy over there, right? Like that's all I'm saying. Perk, you have the floor.
So let me say this. I signed with the University of Memphis. I was going to Memphis with John Calipari, right? Like I went there, went on a college visit.
Oh, he definitely got the bag.
Yeah, something like that. Here's the thing, right? There was NIL before NIL. Here's the thing. The Jimmy Butler situation. Ali, you caught that? The Jimmy Butler situation. When he was, when Miami Heat, when he requested a trade from the Heat, the Memphis Grizzlies were in the mix. Jimmy Butler reported, right? This facts is out there. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ali. He didn't want to go to Memphis. He said it, right? Nobody knew why he didn't want to go to Memphis, right? Publicly. But behind the scenes, the sources were that he said it was too dangerous, right? These are reliable sources, right? That's Jimmy said it, right? He didn't want to go to Memphis because, it was too dangerous. That's not what he wanted to be a part of. So I'm on the outside looking in on the Desmond Bain situation. KD, one of his funniest tweets he put out the other day, that dap up between Jamal Mosley and fucking Desmond Bain. Did y'all hear how loud it was?
He said they heard that dap in Memphis.
Yeah, he said they heard that dap all the way in Memphis. So when I'm watching Desmond Bain get traded to the Magic, do y'all see the glow on his fucking face? It's like a breath of fresh air. I'm not here to listen. I'm just telling y'all.
Channing didn't have that look when he was in Orlando. Channing didn't have that.
It wasn't the same, brother. That wasn't the same.
Channing didn't have that look when he was in
Orlando.
Orlando.
Them checks were different, and that Florida tax. But hey, I'm not a humidity guy. Okay.
Bro, you're there in the winter, and your team sucks, so you were out of there in April.
Yeah.
Hey, I also had Scott Skiles as a coach, so trust me.
That's different.
See?
That makes it humid. That life becomes humid.
I'm going to say this. This is Channing Frye's opinion of maybe what happened. Here's my opinion of what I saw. In Memphis, that is Ja Morant's team. Ja Morant has only played 60 games one time in 4 years. Desmond Bain has almost been an all-star 2 of those 4 years. They've really focused on Desmond Bain, Jaren Jackson Jr., and then when Ja comes, Ja comes. I can see a guy like Desmond Bain likes structure, likes being having a consistent role. And with Ja being in and out and guys being hurt, trading your coach or firing your coach, what is that, 10, 15 games away from the season? That type of turmoil is not conducive for the best version of Desmond Bain, where the Orlando Magic each year have been making strategic moves of putting the right players for that team to get better. Okay, so for me, I think organizationally, Desmond was like, man, did I want Memphis to be great? But obviously, they're going in a direction that does not involve me, and I don't feel appreciated, where Orlando appreciates the shit out of me for giving up 4 first-round picks.
Yeah,
That's
but
what I would
Channing,
feel.
we don't know that until you touch the floor. And first of all, let me say this. I was trying to sugarcoat the shit, but I can't. Here's the thing. John Morant has been injured.
Yeah.
John Morant has been suspended. Can you imagine what that locker room had to go through dealing with all that nonsense when you're there just to play fucking basketball? Right? Desmond Bain is a guy from the outside looking in who comes in, who fucking does his job at a fucking high level, look like a true professional, because you can always tell somebody who's about their craft by what their body look like, right? That motherfucker is in shape. That motherfucker shoot the hell out of the basketball. Then you take it to another level. Let's not act like Memphis is not dysfunctional. They just fired Taylor Jenkins with 8 or 10 games left in the regular season. Like, the organization and the assistant coach were like basically having meetings behind this man's back. So let's not act like this organization just been fucking peaches and cream.
I was sugarcoating.
It's probably been so much shit behind the scenes that they've been having to deal with. Imagine how many meetings they've been having to go to where they've probably been like, hey, y'all, look, don't address this issue in the media today. Don't say this in the media. Motherfucker, get tired of that. Like, you want to be there and just play fucking basketball, dog. You don't want to deal with all the extra shit. So imagine he's showing up day in and day out, and you're dealing with so much other shit that hasn't anything to do with the game of basketball.
Let me ask you guys this. Over the next 5 seasons, who has more playoff wins? Memphis with their 4 first-round picks or Orlando with Desmond?
Orlando. It's not even close, Allie. It's not even.
Well, again, that's what I will say. I will say Orlando, but we don't know. I would
Thank you.
That we don't know. All things being equal, if everyone's healthy, I'm gonna say Orlando. When you look at Franz Wagner, you look at at Paolo. When you look at that group and what they're adding, I would say them. That's a lot of picks, though.
Let me ask you a question.
Let me ask you a question. Since you with the big thank you, who you trust more, John Morant or Paolo Banchero?
That's unfair, Kendrick Perkins.
Why is that unfair?
It's not unfair.
I trust Paolo. I would trust Paolo.
That's why we trust them to win more games.
Yeah, it's really the best player. Now his injury
last year. Why do you trust him more?
I think there's a level of professionalism. There's a level of professionalism that I see. I trust Paolo more because I look at the body of work that he has put together in just a few years. Now, mind you, he had the oblique injury. Now, look, in 2 years, maybe he's not as healthy, but John Morant has been one of the more injury prone or banged up superstars over the last 5 years in the entire league. It's like Zion Williamson and then him, right? And Embiid. But that's what I'm saying. When you're in that category of, like Channing says, he's played over 60 games one time in the last 4 years. You can't. Right, and let's talk about this. When you look at OKC and when you look at Indiana, these dudes are at their 100th game. 100th game. You're struggling to play 70. Can you really play 100?
The conversation of the energy is kind of like we're moving past John Morant and the.
No. John Morant has to when the information changes, so does the opinion, right?
Ooh,
so
that's a good point, Richard.
He's got to, like, the information that we have is where I'm basing my opinion.
Say that again.
When the information changes, so does my opinion,
Come
right?
on now.
So it's if he goes back to back 82 game seasons, it's like look at the narrative on it, just even a slight narrative on Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis, the last 2 seasons, people stopped questioning it, so much about him because he was healthy and he was going out there and doing stuff. But the prior 3 seasons, he was banged up a bunch, and then people were criticizing him. Once the information changes, then you can too. So if Ja Morant puts together 2-3 healthy seasons, he's healthy in the postseason. This is the second or maybe second or third time we've seen him injured or banged up at the end of the season. So it's like it's hard for me to bet on a dude when I've seen him get injured. Like
also, let's be honest, the West got tough. The West got tougher. And so where Ja Morant came out 2 years ago, said, no, I'm good in the West. Obviously, that's changed a lot. And the way this makeup of the team is, I don't think this team is a playoff team. If we were to start the season June 19th, 2025, this team is not making the playoffs.
I agree.
And that's just the truth. I just don't think they do. I don't know if they have enough. And I think they're trying to figure out who do we put around Ja and Jaren Jackson Jr. to get the best version of them. And I don't know who that is.
Jaren Jackson Jr. I said this before. I'm going to say it again. He's the most overhyped player in the NBA.
Ooh.
Like, most overhyped player in the NBA.
You just don't like him because he doesn't rebound.
I didn't say. I never said I didn't like him. I never said I didn't like him. Do I love him? No. Do I think like he has a lot of flaws? Absolutely. And when I look at it, like we're talking about a former defensive player of the year. It's nothing that he does on the floor defensively, in my opinion, that shows me defensive player of the year, especially when it matters the most. Like, I get it. You were able to play alongside Steven Adams for a season because that was the season I believe he won Defensive Player of the Year. So now you were able to be a wrong guy. But being Defensive Player of the Year is more to it than just showing up blocks in a fucking stat sheet. Like, and y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. That's being able to say, hey, pick left. Being able to show on the pick and roll. Being able to play without fouling. We talk about and we criticize Karl Anthony Towns, and rightfully so for the dumbass fouls he get. Jaren Jackson Jr. is probably worse. So no.
I know. He does make dumb fouls, but he's not as bad as Cat.
Fouls. So if you're asking me, and I'm looking at your two guys now who are your franchise guys, compared to the other guys that are leading their franchise, where do they put these guys at? I'm like, no. Like, I can't trust in Ja. Ja hasn't been available, right? The Rockets are going to be there. Obviously, the Thunder, the Mavs, the Lakers. Like, Denver is still going to be in the thick of things. Golden State. That's 7 teams already.
Wait, Perk, Perk. I agree with you, but I think this is the part that we should say. When Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. show us and prove to the basketball community, right? When he said that they were good in the West to Malika, a lot of us believed them because their trajectory was on that space, right? And now it was a matter of going out and proving it. And they have not proved it. I think if you would ask Ja and ask them, do you think that your team has maximized what you're capable of doing in the last 3 to 5 years? I hope they would say no, because a lot of us had them being one of the top 2 or 3 teams over the next 5 years, given their young core of Bain and Ja, and they haven't, to the point now where they're starting to break up said team. So, obviously the franchise looks like they're trying to tweak some stuff. They're firing coaches. They're trading like one of their better players. They're changing it up. So if the franchise is changing it up, we're allowed to change up our opinion on what's going on there.
Okay.
My take on Richard's take about rebounding, Rich, to clarify, because your face went sideways and people probably caught that, was that you were just baffled that he only averages like 6 rebounds. That's all.
That to me, that
Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yeah, that's all. That to me, I think, given his capability and his talent level and the things, right, I would expect a higher number. It's that to me is like a point guard averaging 4 assists, a starting point guard averaging 4 assists. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta give me 5. You gotta give me 5 or 6.
It's worse. It's worse than that, bro.
Here we go.
No, it's worse than that, bro. You're that guy. Like, what the fuck? You gotta be like in today's game, dog. 10 rebounds, dog. You should 10 should fall in your fucking lap.
Yeah, I did not. I'm an awful rebounder, and I got 6. So when I shot threes all the time, like I used to be like, "Ooh, 7, man, get that pop wallet out."
Probably the biggest news outside of the NBA Finals, or maybe matching it, depending what side of the fence you're on. Yesterday, the Lakers choosing to sell. Jerry Buss bought the Lakers for $67 million back in 1979. And the Buss family just sold them for $10 billion to Mark Walter, who is also the Dodgers owner. It's the largest sports franchise sale in world history.
Doesn't Magic Johnson own part of the Dodgers too? Is he part of that group?
There.
Huh?
What is it Magic got his hands in right now?
Yeah, Magic's always doing something. Magic's got it. Go for the Lakers. Good for the Lakers. It's impressive.
How do you guys? I think the biggest thing, though, seeing this from the outside looking in and just kind of keeping an eye on people's reaction, obviously, is people don't necessarily understand that the NBA and Major League Baseball do not work the same. Obviously, for Mark Walter, when he took over and bought the Dodgers in 2013, his track record, his resume is amazing. You think of guys like Shohei, Freddie, Mookie, right? Who he has acquired and brought in. You think of his willingness to spend money. The Dodgers have been to 12 postseason appearances in 12 tries since Mark Walter took over. They won 11 NL West titles in the 12 years. They've gone to the World Series.
Yeah, but wait. No. Babe. Let's slow that down. Baseball, and that. No.
Thank you. It's not the thing, but people don't know that. So people automatically think when you're thinking of this Luka Doncic era now, that is going to be, I know, Rich, but it is a thing. It is a thing.
We can't help stupid. So it's fucking forks and toasters, right?
Give perspective.
Basketball's not done like that. And if you don't believe it, go look at the Phoenix Suns. Go look at Matt Ishbia. You don't get to just buy a team and just throw it in there. You don't get to do that. They were deferring money to the point they're doing all these special things to get guys in there. And I love the Dodgers. Dodgers are my team. But the way they structure things, it is not allowed to be done in football like that, and it's not allowed to be done in basketball like that. So great for that, but don't compare the two.
But what you can take from the Dodgers, right? They do have culture, right, Allie?
Oh, one of the best ran franchises.
Okay, so I mean, yeah, they can't mimic and do the same thing in the NBA space, but the one thing that they will bring is culture. And I'm glad you read it out, because that was the thing I was looking forward to, Allie, was Magic Johnson response. Like those tweets he was putting out. I
said you need to pin him. He needs to pin him on his account. It was like, oh shit. Like, because if there's someone that knows if there's someone that knows the entire evolution from 79 when Dr. Buss obviously bought the franchise to where it is now, if there's someone who understands Mark Walter, who he refers to Jeannie Buss as his sister often, like if there's someone that understands the things that Magic was saying in his tweets, they need to be heard. It's important.
Yeah, and the shit he said on Al when he went on First Take, like when that Luka, Magic is gonna call that shit out. He gonna call that shit out. Look, RJ, like but Magic he gonna call that shit out, bro. You know what I'm saying? Here's the thing.
The ownership didn't have to change. Magic could have called that shit out 6 months ago. He could have called it out 3 months ago.
Look,
Magic didn't need ownership to change to call that out.
I'm not in it. I wasn't trying to ruffle no feathers with you.
No, I'm just saying. It's like, there's being around Braun is going to show Luka how to get in shape. It's like the dude was next to Dirk. Like, wait, Luka, nothing's going to change Luka but Luka. That's that. I'm not disputing any of this stuff.
He is looking shredded beef nowadays. I don't know. People are taking a lot of pictures.
He did. But if I was Luka, I wouldn't
wait. Can I just and I'll let you go, Perk. We don't believe in influence. Show me.
No, I'm asking you if you believe in influence.
Oh, I do. If you want to be influenced, if you want to be influenced, he's been a professional athlete since he was 15. His father is a professional athlete. He started next to Dirk Nowitzki as one of the most consistent franchises in Dallas Mavericks. He's been around Bron now for an entire season, right? He knows what it takes. So why hasn't he? So who's going to be the next influence? It's like, oh, we need to hire a new strength and training coach, and you're like, okay, those are just excuses.
Can I say this though?
No.
Can I say maybe, and I'm not, can we put a little blame on the Dallas Mavericks? Like, no, hold on.
You asked a question. You asked a question, bro.
But hear me out real quick. Like, Mark Cuban is one of the, like, when it comes down to players, I don't know any owner that like has special relationships or cater to players more than Mark Cuban. Am I wrong or am I right? Like, name me another owner that players like are in.
I'm about self accountability. I'm about self accountability.
I know, RJ, but just hear me out. Hear me out. Luka has been pacified. You know what I'm saying? Since he got to the Dallas Mavericks, he came there. He put up big numbers. You know, like Mark Cuban has a history of pacifying players, right? Like catering to them, like in a different way. Like it's facts. Like he could have got spoiled, and all of a sudden they sell the team, new ownership group, Nico Harrison. Like they like fuck this. Like I don't even want to go pat down that whole. Like I'm just saying, I'm just throwing it out there. But if I'm Luka, this is what I'm saying. I'm not putting out no videos right now. Like the trainers and shit who like putting them videos out, like they know what they doing to show. Fuck that. I'm hiding all off season. I don't want you to see me till training camp. I don't want you to see me.
You remember when Chris Rock said, motherfuckers be bragging about the wrong shit. Oh, I take care of my kids. You supposed to take care of your kids, you low expectation having motherfucker. It's like, oh, Luka, you in shape, motherfucker? You supposed to be in shape. You like, what the fuck? You want us to applaud you being in good shape? Like what? Like, and I'm not saying Luka's an amazing player. He is outstanding. I'm not knocking Luka, but I'm not going to dance around all of the excuses around. He's got to want it more. That's it.
I'm also going to let you guys know that Luka does not put these out there on the internet. Luka goes and he acts like a human, and he's out in the public, and so then people take photos and post videos, and then that's for all of us to talk about. So before you get on this rant and high horse.
He looked great though.
I love that.
Thank you.
I love any player that's maximizing the best version of himself. We saw it from Jokic. We saw it with Jokic. He was maximizing the best version of himself, and it turned him into a multi-time MVP. And Luka should be a multi-time MVP.
Hey, Rich, you see what Perk's manager Carter behind him is doing?
What?
You see? I think he's taking a nap.
He's asleep. He's snoring and shit.
I think Richie's taking a nap.
It's not just him. It's the whole crew.
That is amazing.
I got all three boys. They snoring and shit. And I don't give a fuck. I got the blinds open because it's
okay, Perk. That's great. Great story, Perk.
I love
I'm teasing.
Seriously, that was rude as fuck. This has been another edition of Road Trippin. However, make sure that you guys hit the subscribe button. We will see you post game tonight. Please join us on the YouTube side. We want to get to 100,000 subscribers. We're at 99,000. So
that's it?
What?
That's the end of the show? I was just getting started.
Y'all can keep going. I have a game. I
literally have to pack.
To do.
Yeah.
That's the end of the show. But I will see you guys all tonight.
What the fuck? You got a pack
of my house. I'm leaving the rental house.
Good. I'm sick of seeing that. I'm sick of seeing that time.
Me too. Me too.
Bye.